The courtroom buzzed with low murmurs, tension hanging heavy in the air. Jaeho sat between Jungkook and a court-appointed guardian, unaware of the storm brewing around him. Taehyung was called to the stand. He walked slowly, every step echoing in his ears, then took a seat, gaze calm but heart-racing. "Mr. Kim," the opposing lawyer began, "you're not Jaeho's biological parent. Why should the court grant you adoption rights?" Taehyung straightened. "Because biology isn't what makes a father. Love does," the lawyer smirked. "Isn't it true you were involved in a scandal 3 years ago? One that ended your engagement?" The courtroom stirred. Jungkook's jaw clenched. Taehyung's fingers curled into his slacks. "Yes. I was outed. My fiancé left me because I was gay. Not because I ever harmed anyone, and now you conveniently marry a man with a child, hoping to replace your lost future." "No," Taehyung replied firmly. "I didn't marry for redemption. I married Jungkook because he and his son became my home." Jaeho looked up at Jungkook, whispering, "Papa is brave." Jungkook stormed into the hallway, fists clenched. "They brought up his past like it defines him." Taehyung followed, calm but visibly shaken. "Let them. I'm not hiding anymore." Jungkook turned to him, voice low. "You shouldn't have to go through this." Taehyung stepped closer, placing a hand on his chest. "He's your son, but he's my heart too. I'll go through hell if it means standing beside him." Jungkook's breath hitched. He looked away, eyes glossy. "I don't deserve you." Taehyung smiled softly. "You deserve everything. And so does Jaeho." "The court will reconvene in 2 weeks to deliver its decision," the judge announced. Jaeho's mother didn't look pleased. As they walked out, she stopped them. "This isn't over. You think being some substitute father will erase me?" Taehyung met her eyes. "No one's trying to erase you. But Jaeho deserves someone who shows up every day, not just in court." She scoffed and walked away. Taehyung turned to Jungkook, his hand brushing the back of Jaeho's tiny head. No matter the verdict, he had already made his choice. He was going to fight like a father. Taehyung didn't move. Jaeho's little arms wrapped around his neck, warm breath brushing his skin as he whispered, "Don't leave like the others, okay, Papa?" Jungkook stood at the doorway, frozen. Taehyung looked up, eyes meeting Jungkook's. "I won't," he whispered. "Not now. Not ever." Taehyung didn't expect Jungkook to follow him onto the balcony that night. The stars were scattered like glitter above them, but the tension was thicker than the clouds rolling in. "You're good with him," Jungkook said, arms folded across his chest, voice quieter than usual. Taehyung didn't turn around. "He's a good kid. He just needs consistency, and you're giving him that." Taehyung looked over his shoulder. "You're not mad, are you?" Jungkook hesitated. "I don't know what I am." A beat of silence passed. "You didn't see his face when he called you up, but today," Jungkook did, softer now. "He's never looked that sure of anyone." Taehyung's throat tightened. "It's not a title I take lightly." "I know," Jungkook said. "That's why it scares me." Taehyung turned to face him fully. "You think I'm going to leave?" "I think I'm falling into something I don't know how to handle." Their eyes met under the stars, something warm and fragile building in the quiet. Jungkook stepped forward, hands trembling just slightly. "I don't know what this is between us yet, but I know I want Jaeho to keep smiling like that. And I don't want you to go either." Taehyung's voice dropped. "Then don't push me away." Jungkook swallowed hard. "I'm trying." Taehyung gently reached out, brushing Jungkook's cheek with his thumb. Then let's try. Together, they stood in the quiet night, hearts uncertain but no longer running. The knock at the door came late. Too late for guests. Too late for comfort. Taehyung was cleaning up Jeho's scattered toys while Jungkook dried dishes in the kitchen. The mood was calm, peaceful even, until that sharp, urgent sound broke through the quiet. Jungkook froze. His eyes flicked to the clock. 11:42 p.m. Taehyung looked toward him. Are you expecting someone? Jungkook slowly shook his head, the unease settling in his chest like ice. He walked toward the front door and opened it. And then the past walked in. Dark lipstick. Wind-tossed hair. Eyes filled with some mix of guilt and purpose. Sujin. Jeho's biological mother. Hi, Jungkook, she said softly. I need to see my son. Taehyung instinctively stepped closer, protective energy already crackling off him. It's the middle of the night. I didn't come here to argue, Sujin said, gaze flicking to Taehyung. I just want to see Jeho. He's asleep, Jungkook said, voice firm. And this isn't how you do things. You disappear for years and show up unannounced. Her voice cracked. I made mistakes, Jungkook. But I'm his mother. Were you thinking about that when you left him crying for you? Taehyung cut in, eyes burning. Jungkook put a hand on Taehyung's arm gently, grounding him. Let's not do this here. Sujin's lip trembled. I'm not here to fight. I'm here because I want custody. The words crashed like thunder. Taehyung's stomach dropped. Jungkook's face paled. No, Jungkook said immediately. You don't get to decide that alone, Sujin snapped, a sharp edge breaking through her softness. He's my son too. Taehyung took a step forward, voice low and steady. He doesn't even remember your voice. Then let me fix that, she whispered. Or I'll go to court. Jungkook felt his knees weaken, but Taehyung's hand was suddenly at his back. Steady. Present. Real. Sujin glanced at the two of them, her eyes narrowing just slightly. So this is what I was replaced with? No, Jungkook replied. This is what saved us. The door closed before she could speak again. But a threat stayed behind. The door clicked shut, but the silence that followed was anything but peaceful. Taehyung stood still, eyes fixed on the handle as if expecting her to walk right back in. Jungkook, on the other hand, looked like the breath had been knocked out of him. His hands trembled slightly as he leaned against the wall. She's going to fight us, he whispered. She's really going to take Jeho? No, Taehyung said firmly. She won't. You don't know that. I don't have to, Taehyung replied, stepping closer, eyes locked with his. Because I won't let it happen. Jungkook let out a shaky breath. You say that so easily, because I mean it, Taehyung said. You're not alone in this. Jeho's mine, too. Not by blood, but in every way that counts. Jungkook finally looked up at him, eyes wide, raw, broken. Why are you always fighting for something that isn't even yours? Taehyung's voice dropped. Because you're. The silence between them tightened. And then, Jungkook broke. He stepped forward without thinking, without breathing, until his forehead pressed gently to Taehyung's shoulder. His voice was hoarse. I'm scared. Taehyung wrapped his arms around him like instinct. Good. That means Jeho matters. That means this matters. Jungkook clutched the fabric of Taehyung's shirt tightly in his fists. What if I lose him? You won't, Taehyung promised. Not while I'm standing. Their hug wasn't romantic. It wasn't passionate. It was desperate. Protective. Unshakable. That night, neither of them slept. They sat by Jiho's bedside, watching him breathe, as if afraid he might vanish. Jungkook leaned his head on Taehyung's shoulder at dawn and whispered, "I don't think I could survive losing both of you." Taehyung didn't answer. He just reached down and laced their fingers together. The law office was colder than Taehyung expected. Maybe it was the silence. Maybe it was the woman sitting across from him, Sojin, with her perfectly pressed suit and fake motherly smile. "I have every right to see my son," she said, tone clipped. "You're just a stranger in my place." Taehyung didn't flinch. "You gave up that right the day you walked away." "I'm not the stranger. I'm the one who stayed." The lawyer beside Sojin cleared his throat. "You're not legally his parent, Mr. Kim." "Not yet," Taehyung replied. Jungkook turned toward him, stunned. "Tae, I've already filed for joint guardianship," Taehyung said, not taking his eyes off Sojin. With Jungkook's consent, Sojin's face twitched. "You think you can replace me, no?" Taehyung said softly. "But Jiho deserves stability. He deserves a home. Not a mother who only returns when it's convenient." Sojin laughed bitterly. "You think the court will side with you? You're nothing." Taehyung leaned forward, voice steady. "Maybe. But I'm the one Jiho calls Papa Tae. And no judge can ignore the difference between biology and love." Sojin's lawyer whispered something to her. She stiffened. But Taehyung wasn't done. "I know about the custody case in Busan," he said coolly. "The daughter you lost visitation rights to because of neglect. Should I bring that up in court?" The room dropped into tense silence. Jungkook looked at him in disbelief. "You investigated her. I protected her son." Sojin stood abruptly, grabbing a bag. "This isn't over." Taehyung stared at her retreating back. "For Jiho's sake, I hope it is." That night Jungkook stood by the balcony, arms crossed, overwhelmed. "You didn't have to do all that," he whispered when Taehyung approached. "I did. You could have walked away, but I didn't," Taehyung said. "And I won't." Jungkook turned toward him slowly. Why? Taehyung looked up at him, eyes filled with something deep, steady. "Because Jiho isn't the only one I'm fighting for." Their eyes met. No words followed. They didn't need them. Because in that moment, Taehyung wasn't just fighting for custody. He was fighting for a future. With him,